Hello viewers, it's glad to know you're watching your program. I'm Kingsley Paul. Now, in continuation with the ongoing report we are doing on housing deficit in Nigeria, today we are spotlighting a company that is doing so well in the housing sector. They are coming with a very good technology in the housing sector. I'm talking of no other than Karmod Nigeria Prefabricated Technologies. We are going to be spotlighting them on how they are contributing to the housing sector, looking at the technology that they have brought into the country in order to solve this menace. Joining us is the Managing Director, CEO, is Hakeem Shagaya. He's going to be giving us their contribution, the challenges, the issues, how they have been able to solve the housing problem in Nigeria with this wonderful technology. It promised to be an interesting spotlight. Sit back, relax. I'll be back after this time out.
Loves the idea of the state-of-the-art house. But if you decide to have your new house built from scratch, you might expect to wait for months, if not years, before the building is complete. Unless, that is, you order yourself a half house. These ingenious buildings are the architectural equivalent of flat pack furniture and can be erected in as little as 5 days. So how do they do it? Welcome to Karmod Nigeria Prefabricated Technologies.
Karmod Prefabricated Technologies, it's in its end of its 4th year in Nigeria, going into our 5th year. We're, as the name suggests, a prefab construction company that builds in a pre-engineered manner. And we simplify the process of building by using 3 main technologies: cement board based technology, which is for our permanent structures, and then we have the modular cabins, which is what we call porta cabins or flat pack containers, and lastly we have the polyester cabin in our range of products. That's who we are. Our parent company is Turkish. In the 4 years of our operation in Nigeria, we started as actually a fully import-based business, and now we've been able to integrate backwards, and we are happy to say that we have over 65% of our materials now sourced locally. The materials that we cannot source locally is just because there are no factories or industry that produce that particular range of products. So we're a company that believes in local content and local capacity development. Yes, our setup is to participate in the housing space, but I wouldn't say solely this is our main reason for setting up. We're set up as a service provider to different industries. Because of the prefabricated nature of our technology, it means that we build faster than most people in the industry. In terms of the markets that we've been able to penetrate, initially we were thinking the housing space is where to start immediately. But from learning from the market, we had to change our strategy. We went a lot into servicing different sectors like construction industry, like the power sector, like the security sector, and also the NGOs, as you call it, the likes of United Nations, UNICEF, International Organization on Migration, and organizations like that. The reason for this is because most of these agencies I've mentioned to you and organizations require rapid development of camps and facilities for workers whenever they have projects. And we found that this was a space that there was an opportunity in the market. So the first few years, until now, we are still serving those sectors. As of this year, we then went into developing our own estate to sort of demonstrate our technology to a wider audience. And we are currently doing a block of flats in Kuje in Abuja here. We've been involved in the Northeast in building schools, clinics, camps, accommodation for the armed forces, accommodation for international organizations. So we've also been involved in private sector, people that want to build classrooms in private schools, people that need as simple as just a corner shop for them to be able to open a business, people that want boys' quarters in their house and they are restrained with space and things like that. So our industry, our market every day is growing and we're learning consistently.
The impact is, of course, the market is new to those products and they are a bit shy to involve in our products. That is why we decided to make this showroom first, to prove to people that whatever we are offering is, first of all, reasonably priced. Quality is high. What I mean is that we only use CE or ISO certified products. That is why the quality of the products we are offering to market is, you cannot compare it with others. We don't use any inferior products. That is why this is a good start for us, but the Nigerian market should be aware of it, aware of our products. That's why we are into this showroom and the marketing campaigns, yes.
A survey conducted by the African Development Bank on developers indicates that 60% of the cost of houses goes towards construction. Out of this, 70% arises from materials and 30% being attributed to labor costs. These are the kind of costs that Karmod Nigeria Prefabricated Technologies intends to bring down significantly when it comes to availing more houses into the Nigerian market using technology.
It's just facts. If a system or methodology or technology is superior, it's superior based on thinking, based on planning, based on evidence of work done. We always challenge our customers on time of delivery, and like the agencies I've spoken to you about, the reason why we're able to work for them is because they are agencies that pride themselves in timely delivery and quality. So many of our customers initially, when they come, they don't believe, for example, that we can deliver a one-bedroom cabin in a day, for example, and we do it consistently. I suppose we are quite used to that. In terms of quality, rigidity, and the way our products are designed, remember I said our parent company is Turkish, so a lot of what we do has been developed under strict ISO standards that are of European nature. That's when you talk about wind speed, you talk about load, you talk about the strength of the building, you talk about fire resistance and things like this. So for us, over time, touch wood, we've had hundreds of customers. We've delivered more than, I would say, 400 projects and counting in Nigeria within the space of a short period of time. So we are here to stay. I think we've passed the stage of trying to prove ourselves. Now it's about how we get market penetration.
At the moment, we are able to produce 10 containers a day. What we do, actually, we are importing them from Turkey completely unassembled in order to save transport cost and to be more competitive in the market. We do have at the moment 25 technicians as well as 3 architects, 3 project supervisors and the production manager. What we do is when we always tend to have large stock of products. In case of an order confirmation, we deliver everything very quickly. For instance, we received an order from Mongonu for 14 units of our containers, and with the solar power, we were able to deliver it within 1 week. Actually, the client was already he was really impressed the speed of our products. This is what we are bringing into the Nigerian market: speed, quality, and reasonable price.
So for our permanent structure, which is the fiber cement board based building, we give a minimum of a 50 to 60 year lifespan on the product. In terms of safety, the building, its frame is a steel frame. So it's as solid as you'd have your normal building. But as we all know, if an armed robber is coming to your house, whether you are living in block or metal, they can always still come to your premises. So issue of safety for us is not an issue. I think for the market we intend to build for, which is the low to medium market, we're going to deliver quality at an affordable price. And when I say quality, I mean European standard quality at an affordable price. So a lot of the issues you've said, we spent the first 2 years of the business struggling and trying to convince people. So now we built our own showroom, we built a factory at the back so that people can physically come, walk in, feel the building, ask questions, help us in suggesting other ways we could localize it more. And then keep learning continuously until we get to a point of advanced, standards. The Karmod brand is a holistic brand towards this housing thing. Like I explained to you, we have 3 technologies. When you look at the market in Nigeria, most companies that you go and meet usually have 1 technology. So we know the market in the country. So most companies will they'll be doing the porter cabin business, which is the flat pack container business. And even at that, there isn't that many. I would say some of the players in the market were trained by us and have been able to go and set up their own companies now. But Karmod is different because we have the full spectrum. You have the permanent structure, which is for the mass housing, that we can go as high as 3 floors for flats. You have your flat pack cabins, which can serve many sectors from mining to oil and gas to even education, healthcare, and all that. We list them as temporary structures. These are structures that will last you for 20-25 years. In terms of our standards, Karmod, the company, exists in over 30 countries. So when you talk about other players in the industry, they've gone into the prefab industry maybe with a passion to do prefab, but we didn't only stop there. We also went ahead to find the right partner, so that we can piggyback on their experiences and their, especially Turkey being an earthquake region, they needed to build more flexible, at the same time strong buildings. So a lot of that technology and know-how has gone into the Karmod system. That's why you see within such a short period of time, we've been able to localize a lot of things that we're doing, and been able to bring Turkish people into Nigeria to train the Nigerians and work alongside them. And then we only tend to bring in Turkish project managers when we have much bigger projects. But for most projects that we do, we are using Nigerians. So there's a huge part in the technology transfer that we've been able to achieve within a short period of time. The specialist steel products that we use that are not manufactured in Nigeria is the only missing link. If we had a steel industry and we could get, finely cut electrostatically painted steel, we could then be talking about 85% local content. But because that steel industry doesn't exist, we are still waiting for the day that there will be an opportunity to set up, and it's in our long-term plan to set up a proper rolling mill for that kind of steel. So we are different in that way. We are international, but we have now become quite Nigerian in our mindset.
Considering the importance globally attached to housing provision, it is unfortunate that Nigeria's housing profile since independence leaves much to be desired. Successive governments over the years have failed to attend to this basic need of the citizenry in spite of several promises made.
So many people have had discussions about this, and I don't think there's anything I'm going to say that is going to be new. We've participated in many housing symposiums and talks, and I suppose that like many problems in Nigeria, people have spoken about how it could be resolved, but I think the system needs to simplify how to solve the housing crisis. There is a disconnect between demand and supply. That's one. I think there's so many civil servants that might qualify for houses, and even in the event that they do qualify, there isn't enough houses to meet the demand that they would generate in their qualification process. Secondly, I think as we've preached from day one, methodology is just not efficient enough. It's been difficult to standardize block construction in the country because you could have two people making blocks next to each other with different mixes. It's impossible that people can just carry block on their heads and be arranging block to build 17 million houses. It's just not industrial enough to be able to meet the demand that is on ground. I think the synergy between organizations like Federal Mortgage Bank, maybe Family Homes Fund, Mortgage Refinancing Company, FHA, the local mortgage banks, this layer of potential financiers, of potential facilitators of mass housing, we need to sort of find a much simpler synergy. I think even companies that want to participate in mass housing should put more skin in the game. If they simplify the process by saying, okay, we want to build a 10,000 housing project, people should put skin in the game, and that should be what determines whether you get access to finance and off-takers or not. I think the process is not simple enough. Also, we pride ourselves that our facility is 100% off-grid. So we have a factory and we have a showroom that you're in now, and we're disconnected from the national grid. So 100% of our power here is provided by solar power, and we have lithium-ion batteries for our energy storage. And lithium-ion battery should give you at least 7 to 10 years in terms of lifespan. We have all the normal facilities that any office or factory should have in terms of air conditioning and everything. We've been open for a few months and we've never been connected to the national grid. So when people talk about productivity in Nigeria is the result of there's no power, I think sometimes every problem that exists has a solution. So we want to demonstrate that and want people to know that the newer ideas, the younger ideas need to be given an opportunity to scale up. because till today, as a company, we cannot participate in borrowing from the financial system, because the terms, even if you start very well, you will end up being in trouble. And so, you know, we still hope for a better time when there will be more thinking based on superior ideology as opposed to sentimental decision making around the housing space. Thank you. We have a sister company in-house that we have our own engineers that are specifically focused on renewable energy for housing. So, because if you go back to the list of clients I told you that we have, most of their operations are in remote locations. So we worked with our partners, German partners, who have also given local capacity now, to come up with already packaged power solutions that will range from 1 kilowatt all the way up to 100 kilowatts, depending on the capacity of what you need. So for the size of a fridge, like what powers this whole building is not bigger than a fridge. So we do render that service to our clients. As a matter of fact, we believe that that is a critical part of the future of our organization, because the power demands are as high as the housing demands, if not higher, because there's so many people with houses today that still have the epileptic power experience. Oh, there's a few things, you know. As a company, you always want more. There's a lot we feel we haven't achieved, and there's a lot we have achieved. In terms of what we haven't achieved, we still haven't been able to reach the volumes we need in terms of the mass housing. But in the same 2 years, we built our own factory showroom. In the same 2 years, we have our own estate that we're building. So while we were trying to go to let the authorities that be know that, see, we can build for you faster than everybody, when we saw that that wasn't working, we decided to just focus and stay within our own lane, because we don't particularly believe in borrowing under the current conditions. So it has stifled the rate at which we could have grown, but at the same time, we're still quite busy. You know, I wish by now we should have been able to secure at least 2,000 houses. That would have been nice, and we believe with 2,000 houses within 18 months to 2 years max, we should be able to finish it. This is something we want to break a record and be able to put it on our profile. So we've not been able to break that record, but we are close. In 5 years, we should be publicly listed. We just need to do a big project. The Karmod Nigeria is in Ghana, we're in Guinea-Bissau, we're in Kenya. Within the same period of time, we've been able to establish offices in those countries. And we keep ourselves very focused on the task at hand, and we keep moving. There's a new government. We hope there will be new ministers soon, and then we'll speak to the relevant people again and see, maybe this time around they will listen.
Well, I must say a very big thank you for making our time to be with us. We really appreciate your time. Out of your busy schedule, we really appreciate you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.